Salutations, Saintly Squad Leaders, Automatic here for Automatic Games. Thanks for joining me for Season 3, Episode 15 of our XCOM 2 series. In our previous installment, Charlie's squad set down in Indonesia, and they met with disaster, the ramifications of which will remain with the XCOM program for some time to come. 3 of the squad are dead, and of the remaining 3, only 2 are willing to revisit the battlefield anytime soon. Gary Hillsdale, codenamed Bard, is beyond shaken. He's downright shell-shocked, and so it may be some time before he's willing to go into the field again. And so we might well retire Charlie Squad, you know, as a usable squad. We do have soldiers, and we will reform our squads, but for now, let's get out of Indonesia. We're going to set course to Western Australia and continue a scan of gear that we'd like to collect.
Message for you, Commander. Patching it through to your quarters now.
Your progress against the aliens over the past month has been significant, Commander, but there is still room to improve if we are going to eliminate the alien threat.
Indeed, I concur. As I stated, there's going to be some shuffling going on. We have plenty of new recruits, and in fact, what I think we may do is inaugurate an Echo squad. Okay, let's see. We've got psionic training completed for Brilite, and now he could get into Insanity, Stasis Shield, or Solace. He's going to go for Insanity, once again carrying on with his tradition of practicing offensive psionic skills. We'll continue the scan.
Central, Commander, excellent. My analysis of the fragmented codex data is almost complete. The information I've uncovered so far outweighs the loss of the Shadow Chamber, as you'll see.
Is that an elder? Haven't seen one in at least a decade.
Yes, and I believe I now understand why. The Elders appear to be afflicted with an aggressive form of tissue degeneration, rapid muscular atrophy, to a degree I had not even thought possible.
So they're dying. Sounds like our job just got a whole lot easier.
As with most things involving this adversary, it's never quite that simple. The Elders have been aggressively searching for a cure to their condition for centuries. Each time they encountered a new species, they procured what genetic information and material they required and moved on to the next world. Until now. I believe they found something in us. Something important enough to cause them to take root.
A cure?
Not that I can determine. Several key files were previously deleted as part of something called the Avatar Directive.
Avatar. We need those files.
Were I to gain access to a fully functioning codex, I might be able to recover them.
Or blow the entire ship to hell this time around.
I didn't say I needed the creature here, Bradford. I am confident I could access the unit remotely, provided your soldiers can get close enough to it in the field without destroying it first.
That we can arrange, Doctor.
And so Tygan wants us to skulljack a codex, and then of course we've got to move on that codex facility.
Commander, I've updated our current objectives based on the most recent findings.
And that's in Australia. Of course, we have to make contact first. As to our next endeavor, let's turn our attention over to research. Something new has cropped up.
Yes, Commander.
Yeah, data decryption.
A number of valuable applications stemming from this technology. I'll have a report assembled as soon as the research is complete.
Good deal.
Despite Shin's reservations, I find it highly unlikely that we would have gained any additional information from the first codex had we taken a less assertive approach. Regardless, I am sure our troops will have no trouble employing the Skulljack against the next codex they encounter in the field.
For
Agreed.
a second there, Tygan had my hopes up. With all of his talk of the Elders dying, I thought we might have caught a break. I should have known it wasn't going to be that simple. And of course, their solutions always seem to revolve around experimenting on us, destroying the planet, or some combination of the two. As far as I can tell, this might be our chance at ending them once and for all. If we stop the cure, we stop the Elders.
The fear is, with the Elders backed into a corner, they will resort to desperate measures. Let's conclude this scan. So let's see what we find among the wreckage of that ambushed convoy. Viper rounds, that is to say poisonous rounds, and a gas bomb, which also utilizes poison. We'll have some use for those, somewhere down the line. As for now, we're going to set course north toward this resistance supply drop. We'll go ahead and start collecting these supplies. And once we're done with this, well, let's see. Okay, we've got tracer rounds, which will certainly improve the accuracy of whichever soldier is using them. So, let's go down to the proving ground, where we will start development of yet another form of experimental ammo. But yeah, once we're done collecting these supplies, we're going to head on over to the black market, not just to do some shopping, but I mentioned previously that Catherine Susbury, Sushi Cat, has informed us that other members of her mercenary group, her former mercenary group, are willing to join us, and they are waiting at the black market, so we'll pick them up there. There's at least 3 of them, and perhaps 3 in total. Okay, so Brylight has completed his insanity training. Let's see. That's... Schism, yeah. Yeah, we're gonna go for that. As you might assume, just pause the screen if you wanted to read it. Anyhow, we have collected the supply drop. Let's head over to the black market. That mercenary group that she was with, she was one of the founding members, and the other founding member and the CEO, CO, and perhaps CEO, is another character that we're going to pick up here. That's also her fiancé. And so pardon me while I'll do some shopping, and then we'll have a look at the files of these 3 new recruits. But the mercenary group used to be, well, a private security firm. I want to say it was Pilgrim Private Securities. Anyways, sadly, they were mere strongmen for a Venezuelan dictator, but now they're on our side.
David Mortimer, codenamed Mortal, born Plymouth, England, 8 December 1986. Mortal was the founder of Pilgrim Private Security, a hardened mercenary group that was contracting for a Venezuelan dictator when the alien invasion commenced. When their employer surrendered to Advent, Mortimer and hundreds of like-minded fighters fled to the jungles, inaugurating a 20-year guerrilla war against the aliens and their human puppets. He is a sardonic and strategic genius who has dedicated his life to armed conflict. Finnegan Trollister, codenamed Fintroll, born Helsinki, Finland, 15 April 1996. Trollister's family moved to Sweden when he was 10. He was military-minded throughout his teens, but his father was vehemently against Finn enlisting. A troubled teenager, Finn ran away from home and embarked upon a life of crime. He wound up in the United Kingdom, where he began a middleweight boxing career. A recruiter for Pilgrim Private Security found him there, and thus began his life as a mercenary. Aggressive and angry, Finn finds peace only in staring down a scope. Autumn Durga, codenamed Steeler, born London, England, 4 June 2005. A young woman at the time of the invasion, Autumn was in the care of her grandfather in Boston when the city was attacked. He was a retired SAS officer, and as such, he taught her a great deal about surviving in a hostile environment. She fled Boston and the former United States, making her way into South America, where she joined a mercenary organization.
And of course that mercenary group is none other than Pilgrim Private Securities. So there you have it, 3 new recruits, and along with Catherine Sussberry, they will fall in with the newly formed Echo Squad. And I think it'll be interesting to see the full complement of that squad once it is finally deployed in the field. Okay, so now Resistance is asking us to assist them with the extraction of one of their operatives in the field. We are happy to comply, so the Sky Ranger is en route, and this particular operative arrived on scene via a Cherry Red 2029 Luminous Lightning Coupe. But should his mission prove successful, it is highly doubtful that he will be able to egress via the same mode of transportation. And that's where Firebrand and the Sky Ranger come in. And the commander has agreed to this on one condition. If we pick this operative up, we get to keep him. Of course, the operative in question has to agree to that, but Resistance already has. You see, this combatant is somebody we already know and love. Javier Valdez, codenamed Old School. Picking him up, bringing him back aboard the Avenger, well, the commander he sees that as an opportunity. He doesn't want to let this guy slip through our fingers again, and though it doesn't sit well with Colonel Van Dorn, the commander is ready to ask Valdez if he will join us once more and take command of Alpha Squad in the field. You see, Alpha Squad just hasn't been the same without Valdez at the helm. And this is not a condemnation of Peter Two Bears. No, he's a perfectly fine combatant in his own right. But Valdez was one of the originals. He's been with us from the first mission. And so, it just feels strange to have Alpha operating the field without Valdez in command. And it is our hope that he'll agree, but of course all that is contingent on him successfully completing this mission. You see, he's been tasked with assassinating a garrison commander. The commander in question is a General Ellis, I believe, and he's already got her inside. He's lining up a shot. And it's good. She's down. Assassination complete. All that remains is his getting out of there. Certainly, Advent Security is going to do whatever they can to stop him. But little they know, Old School, well, he's good. And the Sky Ranger, it's on standby. And full disclosure, to suspend the roleplay for a second, really, I just did this mission with him in the hopes of getting footage of him departing the Sky Ranger and boarding the Avenger. I didn't intend to show the actual mission, and I did save scum it twice just to get a lay of the board. But once I did that, I realized he could do this mission in like 3.5 minutes and digress. And once I realized that, I was like, well, damn, I might as well show the whole thing because it's kind of badass. I mean, for one guy to go on a mission like that in this late stage of the game, albeit with 2 save scums. But, I mean, even with the first save scum, he got out. It was just he was severely wounded. I was like, well, I can do that again without him being wounded, but yeah. So now, here he comes, back to the Avenger, after a successful assassination. And spoiler alert, he will absolutely accept the commander's offer. And in his absence, he had been working with the Vigilant Resistance Group and the Fire Axis Resistance Cell.
I'm certainly impressed, Commander. Another heroic effort in the field.
But all of that is behind him now. Javier, welcome home. And it goes without saying that his return will bring gratitude and elation from the members of Alpha Squad. And yeah, I mean, secretly, he's kind of been in our ranks for the last, I guess like several episodes. In fact, as soon as we let him go, he was hireable again in the headquarters.
Excellent work, Commander. Your efforts continue to bolster the resistance movement across the globe.
Yeah, damn right, spokesman. So yeah, apparently the game didn't want him knocked out of the story, and I concur 100%. As to our next mission, it's going to be that Codex facility. You know, unless anything else crops up in the meantime, which I can't see it. Well, damn. We do not have enough intel to make contact with the resistance movement in Australia. So, we're going to stick around headquarters, and we're going to glean some intel from headquarters by scanning here. And it's going to take longer than I'd like, but okay, it looks like we got more Venom rounds. That's from our proving grounds. Let's head back below and start another development procedure. This time I don't think we're going to go for experimental ammo or grenades. Rather, let's try out armor, shall we? And see exactly what that entails.
Sounds good, Commander. I'll let you know as soon as the project is ready for deployment.
But yeah, so, you know, we very well may not be hitting that Codex facility next. Because seeing as it will take a little longer than expected, there's a decent chance that some other mission will crop up.
Commander,
As you can see, more progress on the Avatar project.
If we're going to slow them down, we'll need to move fast.
Yeah, I've heard that before, Central Officer. And we've let that get carried away before, or get away from us, and we don't want to repeat of that. So now Bright Light has completed Schism. We're going to bring in a new trainee. Autumn Durga, codenamed Steeler, is also going to go the psionics route. So let's initiate her training. And I guess we don't get to choose her first skill. It's okay, that works. Game will choose it for us.
Commander, the aliens aren't slowing down. They've already got multiple facilities operating across the globe. We're running out of time.
Yeah, where's this facility at? Okay, back in Indonesia. Why am I not surprised? Damn. So yeah, there's a fair chance that some other mission will crop up, and that mission will have to, well, it'll have to do for our finale, which will be the next episode. Will in fact be the Season 3 finale. A lot of times in those finales, I kind of like to have a look back,
Commander?
and, you know, kind of discuss the happenings of the entire season. Not so this time around. I think our finale episode is essentially going to be a mission. Throughout the course of that mission, I will talk a little bit about what has transpired throughout the season. But, yeah, seems we have no choice but to do a mission. And I guess then we'll kick off Season 4, hopefully, with the Codex facility. And it will likely be a Bravo squad doing it then. Anyways, that'll conclude this episode. This is Automatic for Automatic Games. Thanks for joining me. If you like this, and as always, if you are subscribed, I will talk to you soon, friends.